This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Monday, everybody. Sam Shaka in house.
Yes.
And Stephanie Jones, fresh off a plane from Tasmania.
I know. I'm going to Las Vegas on Friday to see the U2 concert finally.
Oh, he's so jealous.
So
I know we've been talking about it all the time.
It's one
but,
of my regrets in life.
She is living your best life.
I know it is.
The pyramids.
It hurts so bad.
That'd be a great tagline for Steph. She's living your best life. That's great.
Hey, go ahead, have kids.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, they say. You'll experience the world, they say. Not true. I love you, boys. All right, let's get to it, guys. Welcome to DBL. Taylor Swift is once again dominating the headlines for attending another football game. Taylor was seen leaving Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, holding hands with Travis Kelce on Sunday. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that Taylor was wearing a friendship bracelet. You see that? While cheering him on. And the bracelet has Travis's number 87 on it, surrounded by two hearts. What looks like solid gold beads around that. Taylor and Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany, were also getting a lot of attention for this embarrassing dance in the stands. It gets worse. Cameras caught them doing their own handshake when the Chiefs scored their first touchdown. Soups and bar. Travis also had a big day on the field. He caught 12 passes for 179 yards and even scored a touchdown. That's nice. CBS Sports put up this graphic showing Travis does significantly better when Taylor is in the stands watching.
She's his muse, and it's so cute. I think about like the swim meets that I used to swim in, and if my boyfriend was in the stands, I would get this like boost of adrenaline.
Really?
So
You wouldn't be nervous?
I liked to be like, I'm going to show you, boo. I'm going to show you.
I
And I
love
think
that.
Travis Kelce is feeling the love from Taylor Swift, and it's helping. It's a win-win for everybody. You should be happy.
He's on my fantasy football team.
Exactly.
I am happy. But he was good before.
He was a Hall of
Taylor.
Famer.
Yeah, but
He
he's
has
a
two
whole
Super
other
Bowl
level
rings,
now,
and
and
he's made-
statistically, the results are there for us all to see.
She's right.
She's not right.
She is. The data don't
He's
lie.
the top. He's one of the
How?
top tight ends in the past 3 decades.
But look
Top
at the
5 tight ends.
scores. The NFL aren't making this stuff up.
They
There's
make
a reason
stats
why
like
she's on the
when
head
it
of their
rains
Twitter
on
page.
Monday night and you have an off week, they make up these ridiculous stats all the time.
Do you think his love for her has changed his game?
No.
Yes, it has. The data don't lie. We just saw
But
it.
you know what will change his game? When they break up and something bad happens. That will change his game.
All right, well, Jeff,
Then the fans
normally
will
I'm
hate
kind of
him.
negative on this whole situation. I think it's a little annoying, but we are talking sports on an entertainment show, so I am kind of happy about that. And I'm also happy about something else, Steph. You might not be super familiar with American football, but one of my heroes, Bernie Kosar from my hometown of Cleveland, hung out with
Bernie.
Taylor after, yes, and he was a big part of our late 80s, early 90s teams. So shout out Bernie. I'm glad he's doing well and hanging out with an A-list celebrity. Bernie's my Taylor Swift.
So now you like Taylor Swift because she is friends with Bernie. Because last week you were not fond of Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce situation.
It's not that I'm anti-Taylor. I'm not the demo. If you got in my car and I was blasting Taylor Swift, you'd be like, oh, something's wrong with this man.
But you're now endorsing her because Bernie endorsed
Do you
her.
think Bernie knows who she was, or do you think there's just this girl here that wants a photo with me, or do you think he knows who
I
she
think
is?
she's that famous now where everybody knows. That's
Yeah.
when you're that famous, when your grandma and your 5-year-old niece know, everyone knows who she
Did
is.
Taylor know Bernie?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Let's not even.
Real quick, can we talk about that handshake? It was embarrassing, right?
I wish it was me.
I think it was really cute. You know what? Taylor's a girl's girl, and I think she tries to make everyone feel really welcome.
Yep.
She's trying to be a part of the team. She's trying to embrace it. The only thing I don't like, which is complete hearsay because I had no idea about this until like 5 minutes ago, is when you, Jeff, told me that the girl that she's doing the handshake with is a bit of a troll online.
Well, so,
What do you
let me
mean?
explain. That's
Apparently
Patrick
she's really
Mahomes' wife, the
mean.
She's a
quarterback.
troll?
She doesn't have the best reputation online.
What does she say?
I don't know. She's
Mean
just known for like
comments,
attacking
Sam.
people. So is his brother. So this is again
Yeah.
all hearsay. She might be a lovely
Okay.
person. They were together, when they were in college. So I love that. But she's, I guess, not the greatest person online. So I just want to know where that handshake came
Well,
from.
maybe
Who
Taylor
brought up
didn't
that
know
conversation?
that.
Like, hi Taylor, I'm Brittany. Do you think you want to do a handshake this week? Sure.
You think it's super staged.
Everyone's focusing on the handshake. I like the initial where it looks like she's in a self-defense class because she goes to shake hands and she just grabs her wrist. It's this weird exchange. They definitely have not practiced.
You're thinking way too into this. Just let love be love. Why do you gotta hate?
I'm not hating.
You're hating.
Didn't I say I'm happy for them?
You did, but then you took it back by poo-pooing their handshake.
Okay.
But okay.
Does she gotta be so involved? Can't she wear like a hat and like kind of be incognito a little bit? She got to be so out there.
It's Taylor
her man.
Swift.
Yeah, but like if I'm going to my wife's to support her, I'm not wearing bright red lipstick. I'm here.
No, Taylor
what she
always
does.
wears red lipstick.
I know it's a little
she
much.
Always
It's a little
it's
much.
part of her brand.
Listen, I was fine with it. It's a little. Yeah. All right. John Stamos is revealing more details about his past in his new memoir. I love a good memoir. Back in the 80s, John said he found his then girlfriend actress Terry Copley in bed with Tony Danza. I guess we found out who the boss in that relationship was. John said he walked in on them when he opened the door to her guest house and said he didn't recognize Tony right away because he only saw his ripped abs. After he looked in Tony's car, he discovered a poster of Terry in the front seat signed by Dear Tony. Okay. John said the pain of seeing them together was overwhelming, but Terry has since said they were broken up at the time. They were on a break.
Okay, I think we're reading more into this. No pun intended. This is his memoir. He's divulging moments in time, and this was clearly a big moment in his life. But he was tongue-in-cheek by pointing out the ripped abs. If there's any sort, in my opinion, if there's any sort of animosity, I don't think he would have painted Tony Danza to be so cute with his ripped abs. So I think he's tongue-in-cheek about it now.
Maybe he thought he was going to get his ass kicked.
You think?
That's what I think.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, come on.
There is no guy.
Guys so differently.
There's no way that I'm going to walk into a room with the person that I assume is my partner and see them, and first of all, throw out an adjective like ripped abs. Like, it's a very weird thing to
This is years later in hindsight.
But like, no, I'm talking about in the moment. If you walked in with any of your significant partners and they were in the guest house of somebody else and you go, wow, that person's hot, so I just shut the door. Stop it. Where they do that at? There's going to be a problem. Sam, I know you, and Steph, I know you would not just quietly shut the doors and not wake them.
I think that goes to show they definitely were broken up, because if they were together, you would be raising hell. You'd say, what is going on? Blah, blah. You'd lose it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, but if you're broken up and you're like, oh, maybe this is like the 10th time she's not answered my calls and she's not answered my flowers, and like, I'm going to go see if she's home, and then there's another man there.
Yes.
You're done, mate.
You quietly bow out.
Okay.
She's right.
That's a good
She's right. You bow out.
Like the handshake, signed poster.
What?
Real.
She's a big star.
Okay, so if you're having sex with somebody, I'd be like, hey, after we're done, could you sign my poster?
Maybe she did it tongue-in-cheek also.
Maybe that was super made up.
Yeah, I don't think John Stamos has an agenda to make up things in his memoir.
A signed poster?
Why would he make that up?
Because it adds a little detail, but it's not a real life detail that really happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe the writer's like, throw this in here.
Yes.
John. Okay, writer. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Dancing with the Stars pro Brit Stewart. She tells us about finding love on the show with actor Daniel Durant. And Emily Blunt is apologizing for something she said 12 years ago. What's all the backlash about? We're going to talk about it. So we were talking about the poster. I'm still not buying it.
I don't.
Is it emasculating?
Wait, but
say you were.
tell everybody Chris's theory. I thought that was interesting.
Okay, so Chris said that he. So what did you say that was his in
movie? He said, "Would you sign a poster for me?" And she was all excited and giddy to sign a poster for Tony Danza, who's a much bigger star than she is.
Right. So, but if you
was
were like,
humble and cute.
if you were on a poster, okay, and you were single, and some guy's like moves like, "Hey, will you sign his poster?" Would you later then have sex with him?
If I already,
Or was it a little bit of
Chris is
masculine?
saying Tony's the bigger star there.
Yeah.
I know, but isn't it a little masculating? Like sign his poster and then let's have sex.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
I'm
a
a
little
fan of
power play
yours.
move where it's like, no, you get to be. I'm your fan. Like when Shaq
I
meets
thought
a
it was
kid.
I think it puts you at a different level.
I thought it was.
But I mean, on a
him
one-to-one
being
level,
genuine
it's
and
just
humble.
like, you
And
know,
I think it worked.
It was.
I think the bigger question, and I don't know how you guys look at this. I was saying if you walked in and your significant other had clearly had sex with somebody that was not you, that's an issue. But what if it was like a professional boxer or something?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody that
Bow
could
out.
really
That's right.
be, like you can't do the traditional.
Tony Danza and
If it was like Ronda Rousey or somebody, would you?
Tony Danza was a boxer.
That's what I'm saying.
So maybe he was
maybe
like, shoot.
Stamos is doing a little math there,
Yeah.
where he's like, I'm just gonna
Yep.
shut this door and have my eye not swollen shut by this guy. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
yeah, maybe. And also, you're John Stamos.
That actress was super cute.
Still
What was she
considered
in?
one of the hottest men on the
Very
planet.
Did she do like movies too, or just modeling primarily?
all the time.
It just shows everybody.
People do some crazy stuff.
Welcome back to DBL. Emily Blunt is under fire for an old clip on her on a British talk show from 2012. She's accused of fat shaming when telling a story about an encounter she had with a server at Chili's. Let's watch.
The girl who was serving me was enormous. You know, I think she got freebie meals at Chili's.
Nothing wrong with that.
I went, "Are you Emily Blunt?" And I went, "Yeah." And she went, "What are y'all doing here?"
Emily has since apologized for her comments. In a statement, she said, quote, "I am appalled that I would say something so insensitive. I'm so sorry for any hurt I caused. I was absolutely old enough to know better."
You know
about that.
what's really bad about this clip? And I like Emily Blunt. I love Jonathan Ross, the guy whose show it is. He is the most amazing late night talk show
Is he a
host.
comic?
He is funny and he rips people. So the fact that he even said, "Ooh," is like, oh no. That's
What was
bad.
she
You know that's
thinking?
bad. You know that's
Do
bad.
you think this was more, and I'm not, believe me, I not condone, everything she said was wrong. But do you think this was her way of describing, because a lot of people from other countries see America
I think
as
it's a stereotype.
obese. Do you think,
there is an unfortunate stereotype. Yeah, that's true.
what do they think in the UK about Americans?
I don't think it's just in the UK. I think in Europe, the overall, like, if you were going to make, and like people say about England, oh, there's a stiff upper lip, they're, you know, very like backwards, it's old fashioned, everything's out of date. In Europe, they think, you know, people in America are larger.
I had
It's
that.
a general stereotype, which
Is
is
it
very
because of our
nice.
fast food?
I think there's a lot more fast food. Yeah, it's
Right.
like that association. It's like where McDonald's and everything came from, right?
I had a direct. I shot a show on the BBC we did 100 episodes, so I was very close with the crew. They were all from Scotland, London. And the first question I ever asked our EP, I said, "What do you think about Americans?" First thought in your head, and he goes, "1, your size, and 2, your guns."
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I do
exactly.
think that is genuinely
But
how
he didn't
Saz
say
is
it in
portrayed.
an anger. I love this man. He's a great guy. He was just like, "That's what we think."
Guns
right or
and-
wrong, however you want to feel about it. That's what. So that clip isn't that.
But I think she was being, the way she said it was very derogatory.
Of
and
course it
she
was.
wasn't kind, and you know.
Are we giving some space for when it was said?
That's what I wanted to get to.
2012.
I know, but it's still unkind.
But if it was so horrible, right, and it is a stereotype, and people could, I walk around and I don't see anything. Yeah, BS, okay? Everyone sees, there are stereotypes, there are certain things that people point out, and it is what it is. It was 11 years ago, and if it was that bad, she would have got called out directly 11 years ago after the show. You can't say things like that, you're in trouble. But that society back then was accepting, it was wrong, but accepting. We can't go back and judge people all the time. I don't care if it's 5 years, because it was a totally different world 5 years ago, or 10 years, or 11 years, or 20 years. You can't go back and look at things with 2023 lenses. I'm tired of it.
Jeff,
and
if we went back,
and it just gets headlines, and I'm tired of it.
Jeff, and it's also an indictment on us, because I believe, and please somebody fact check this, I believe the Black Eyed Peas, when they released that song "Let's
Oh my
Get,"
gosh,
but
yes.
Sam, you're reacting to
Again,
that.
society
that was
accepted that
on
song.
the radio,
Right.
And
We've
at award
evolved.
shows.
We've evolved.
Yes, but it wasn't like we were being held down and forced to listen to it. The public was listening to it. The public was nodding their head. And our thoughts have changed. We have evolved. We should be proud of that.
Right.
Not going back and attacking the people that made the songs we danced to. What are you doing here?
I do think her apology was sincere.
And I thought her
think
American
so.
accent was great. I thought it was really good.
She's an actress.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Okay.
Steph, do you want to try your hand at an American accent?
Please.
Oh, what can I even say? I always think of like y'all, or like when they're like,
Make fun
Tony,
of a
get out of here, like New York.
Make fun of an American waitress.
Steph is like she's
I'm
in
just
rent.
kidding. No, let's hear your do your
Would you like a
California
side
one.
order of fries with that?
See, that's stereotype. Like usually people from out of the country will do like the Valley accent or a Southern accent, and that's like
Yeah,
the
I
American
think of
way,
like
right?
that's the ones we hear the most. It's like New Yorkers, particularly like people in a taxi, or they're serving pizza, or they're like that kind of thing. Or we think of Southern, which is so cute. That's one of my favorites. And
It
that
is.
y'all, it's really long and drawn out. Or there's the Kim Kardashian valleys,
Yes.
They're the ones we hear the most.
We hear a lot of that in California.
Give a British accent.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad.
I mean, on the spot, you got a better
That
one?
was terrible.
I can't.
Just throw one
Try.
out there. Do the tease a little bit. I'll pick it up after.
In a
Where's my
British
camera?
accent.
In the British accent,
Go on,
yeah.
you've worked with me long enough.
Come on, coming up on DBL. Dancing with the Stars. Brit Stewart telling us about what it was like having Adrian Peterson as a partner.
I say
Look around Uptown and South End and you'll see e-scooters sprawled on the sidewalks. But who's responsible if you're injured on one of them? Let's get the facts.
Our sources are Attorney Gary Monty, Attorney Jeremy Maddox, and Lime Scooters. Before you hop on one of these, you need to put your credit card information in and agree to the terms and conditions to take a ride. Looking at Lime, just one of the companies operating here in Charlotte, their user agreement outlines their waiver and release claims, stating you agree to assume all risks and accept all responsibility for any accident, injury, property damage, death, or disability you may suffer on one of their scooters.
In all likelihood, is going to have to pay their own hospital bills.
Monty says in court it's hard to go against a waiver you signed.
And the arbitration agreements are frequently upheld by North Carolina courts and, in fact, courts around the country.
Lime's user agreement also has a provision saying you need to try to settle the dispute first.
The place that you have to go for arbitration is called AAA. It's the name of an arbitration company. And that means you don't get a jury trial.
However, Monty does say there are some exceptions.
If you're a minor and you're signing this contract and somehow you've managed to use a scooter, even if you're underage, let's say, you can make an argument that you were not old enough to consent to the contract, that kind of thing. Or if there was some type of defect in the scooter itself.
Maddox says people should also be aware of a law in NC called contributory negligence.
Basically, if you were even 1% at fault for how the incident occurred, you may get nothing.
This is why Maddox says it's important to carefully follow instructions and be sure to read the fine print before hopping on. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Brit Stewart made history as the first black female pro on Dancing with the Stars, and earlier we talked to her about the latest season. Check it out. Brit Stewart, welcome to DBL.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Hey.
Oh, we're so excited to have you, Brit. Now, we want to start by saying we were so sad to see you go. Were you surprised to be sent home?
Oh, Dancing with the Stars is always unpredictable. It's a reality show. You never really know what to expect and who will get eliminated. I will say that I am sad. It seemed like Adrian was really growing in his dance journey, and right when everything started to click, we got eliminated. So yes, sad, but it's always unpredictable.
Well, speaking of Adrian, we all know him as a football star, right? But how did you use his experience as an athlete to finally teach him to dance?
This was my first experience with a pro football player as a partner on DWTS, and really I used his work ethic. from his years of NFL training and experience, I could really use that hard work and being able to be, really have repetition. And now you're seeing here, I got to do some football drills with him that really helped with his quick feet during our quick step. And I got to do some football drills with the greatest running back of all time. So I can say that I've done that now.
And that was great technique. I
was just about to say, that was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Britt, you and your boyfriend, actor Daniel Duran, are so adorable, and we have to know, how did your connection on stage turn into a relationship?
First of all, thank you. Really, my partnership with Daniel last season was something really special. We both knew that we had chemistry, but it started as teammates that turned into best friends. And at the end of the season, I think we both just looked at each other, realized that we weren't going to spend every day with one another. And then we told each other that we liked each other and started dating after the show. So it was a very organic way of transitioning into a relationship.
I love your love. Now, this is the sweetest story. You actually learned sign language to communicate with Daniel. So were there any unique challenges to teaching him to dance due to him being deaf?
You're right. I learned ASL. I remember first meeting Daniel on our first meet on Dancing with the Stars, and I barely knew the alphabet. Everything that I've learned is from Daniel and being completely submersed into the deaf community and deaf culture. And for him, Daniel has this extreme ability to feel rhythm and to feel music without having any concept of sound. So I will say that I got really lucky to have Daniel as my partner. And then it was really a unique experience for me to switch up my teaching method and just open my heart and my eyes and my dance experience to a whole new world and culture.
What a beautiful story. Oh my God, that's amazing. Congratulations for both of you guys. Now, I got to say this, you're the president of the Share the Movement. It's an organization aimed at diversifying professional dance. So how are you hoping to change the dance world?
Thank you for mentioning Share the Movement, because I am so passionate about diversity, equity, and representation. And, I take my role as being the first and only Black female pro on Dancing with the Stars very seriously. And I want to take my opportunity and give it back to younger generations. And so we really start with the root, the foundation of young BIPOC kids that aspire to be dancers, that there will be no limitations, that we can continue to break barriers. And my hope for dance as a whole, that it will become more colorful and that more people will have access to go beyond dance, to become directors and choreographers and producers and really lead dance and arts.
Wow. Britt, thank you so much for lighting up our screen. Her smile's contagious.
Right? And then she comes in with that love story.
I know.
Trying to make somebody cry on a Friday? Come on now.
I wish we had more time. Thank you so much for joining us on DBL. To get more information on Share the Movement, visit sharethemovementnow.org. Thank you again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Have a good one. We'll be right back.
The Scholastic Book Fair has been a highlight of the grade school experience for generations of children. But some books about unique families, civil rights icons, and identity affirmation might not be so easy to find at your next local fair. And that has some on social media angry at the company.
Did you know the Scholastic Book Fair just made a button to get rid of all the books with Black characters?
They will start censoring books about queer and trans people and other controversial topics like racism from their school book fairs.
So did Scholastic take all books with diverse stories off the shelves? We checked with these sources, including Scholastic policy, to verify no, but there have been changes. Planning an elementary school book fair starts with the Scholastic rep sharing the catalog of books, a sort of baseline selection, then other cases you can choose to add on, like holiday-centric or science-focused books, or the new Share Every Story, Celebrate Every Voice collection that's at the heart of all of this. We checked the book list. While characters of color from various backgrounds and touting self-confidence can be found in the broader selection, books dealing most directly with topics of race and the queer experience are placed in this optional collection. And Scholastic says it's actually a way to try to keep these books accessible wherever possible, as vocal groups in school districts and several states push rules and laws banning books with topics they don't like. The American Library Association says this year is on pace to have the highest number of attempts to censor library materials since they began tracking this. Most challenges are to books, quote, written by or about a person of color or a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. Scholastic says, quote, these laws create an almost impossible dilemma. Back away from these titles or risk making teachers, librarians, and volunteers vulnerable to being fired, sued, or prosecuted. These changes are only for book fairs through elementary school. Middle school book fairs remain unchanged. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
If you haven't watched hours of panda live stream footage, have you even lived? I mean, look at them. They're so cute. All of the pandas in the US are on loan from China. It's part of a cooperative research program with a mission to better protect the vulnerable species. China currently lends out 65 giant pandas to 19 countries. 7 of those pandas are in the US right now. 3 in DC at the Smithsonian's National Zoo, and 4 in Georgia at Zoo Atlanta. A viral Instagram post claims all pandas in US zoos are being sent back to China. But is that true? Let's verify using these sources. As part of the panda program, adults typically return to China when they reach old age, and any cubs born are sent to China around age 3 or 4. The DC pandas are being returned this winter. The initial agreement stipulated that Mei Zheng and Tian Tian would live there for 10 years. However, that agreement has been renewed 3 times since 2010. The current agreement extension, signed in December 2020, states that Mei Zheng, Tian Tian, and their cub Shi Yao Qi Ji will return to China before the agreement expires on December 7th, 2023. The other 4 pandas in Atlanta will be returned to China when their agreement expires in 2024. So we can verify, yes, all pandas in US zoos are being sent back to China. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Welcome back. Doing chores around the house can be a pain, and even more so when you have achy joints. Try these tips to hurt less. It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. First, break up chores to make them more manageable. Doing the same activity for a long time isn't joint friendly. Next, lifting heavy items can put way too much strain on your joints. For example, instead of using a big bottle of laundry detergent, try switching to detergent pods. Lastly, minimize your stair usage. Create 2 sets of cleaning products so you don't have to drag them up and down the stairs. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-726-5185 or visit OmegaXL.com for more information.
Oh. I was just looking at, this was my weekend to clean, and my girl was out of town. I did.
Oh, good.
Do you understand what happened in that house? I mean, inside and out, redid 2 rooms, cleaned all the carpets with the professional carpet cleaner, which I own. Come see me, dog. I mean, bathrooms on point, redid the studio. Oh, I just love it.
Good. I used to, back before I had kids, I would clean on Saturday so I could enjoy my house on Sunday. And I really appreciated that.
What happened?
Now I'm constantly cleaning because of the kids.
Every day Saturday. Now I just enjoy filth. We'll see you tomorrow.